Good morning, beautiful. Welcome to my channel. Oh, we are up early. Yesterday, oh my gosh, the thunderstorms and the downpour. Oh, it had us going batshit crazy. We didn't know if it was gonna stop or if it was gonna try to, drown the earth. Hold on. Okay, we're going to this appointment that we made. We're gonna go check it out, see if we could benefit from it. If not, then at least we got up, we got out, right? If it doesn't turn out to be fruitful, maybe I would take my walk outside because it is nice out here. The weather is like 72 degrees, and yeah. That girl smiled at me. I was surprised. Like, oh, you're smiling at me. Whew. So one of the things I wanted to do is put up these dash cams. Right, I got the dash cam. Right, I read the instructions. Now the front part is just a suction cut. You just maneuver the wiring, in such a way. So that's something that I think I want to get to is some upholstery. Needles or something like that. Because regular needles they won't hold in this type of upholstery. Yeah. So I got me a protein coffee here. I don't really maximize my protein when I'm using the peanut butter powder. It just gives me like 6 grams of protein. Now, when I add the milk, that will be another 6 grams, which would be about 12 grams, which would make it about, give or take, 15 if I added the collagen, right? Well, I don't have any collagen right now. But I do know one thing. I'm kind of hot in this sweat jacket already. So yesterday, I had a picnic in the bed, right? I made a little bowl of potato salad and broiled a hot link in the oven. And yeah, I was acting like I was having a picnic in the bed. Yeah, it felt pretty good. And I had that as my early, like afternoon picnic, right? Later on that night, last night, right, I had a chicken salad, right? Because I had to start, using up the chicken that I have got from Sam's Club. So I made some bone broth, right? Special treat for my pitties. Yes. And of course, they had a special treat yesterday also, because they had some chicken and eggs, some boiled eggs. Okay. Because here's the thing, right? Sometimes I'll buy things, trying to save money or because it's on sale. And then, it's not on the menu. Right. Like, even though, like, when I had bought all those eggs, remember I bought all those eggs wondering, gee, I wonder how it feels to go on an egg diet, just to have protein and eggs. I like eggs. I like eggs scrambled, poached, fried, I don't know of a way that I don't like eggs, right? But, I definitely was sharing my eggs with the pitties. Yeah, you guys gonna have to help me out in trying to eat these eggs. They loved it. I loved it too. Okay? And, I had big dreams of, of doing, of finding different recipes, with the, for eggs. Okay. So, yeah. I've been getting frustrated coming up here, to this place. And so I made an appointment on how to pick up, right? And this is what I'll be able to ask this guy. Hi. I have made an appointment to drive up.
That guy sitting right there?
Uh-huh.
That's where you're going.
Oh.
You're going to be picking up some food and just driving through, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right there.
Oh, okay.
All
Thank
right,
you.
You have a good day, man.
Thank you. Okay. Hi. I made an appointment to pick up food.
You know what?
I had made an appointment to pick up food.
Okay, what's your name?
Cherie Amour.
Cherie Amour. Amour.
Amour. Yeah, Amour. A-M-O-R.
Yeah. You like these up here with you?
I do.
You might want
I
to
put them in this.
on the way, huh?
Yeah, I put them in this this bag here,
Oh, okay.
so it'll stay cool. Thank you.
Yeah, kids a little ride with you now, huh?
Huh?
Kids a little ride with you now.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I don't have any kids, but my kids are grown.
You got grown kids?
Yeah.
You don't look at
Grown
all?
kids. And, but I do Uber driving, so when the
Yeah.
kids, they love it in the car, yeah.
Okay, that was. Yeah. That's it, coach. All right. Wait, did I get? Want to grab them too? Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Enjoy yourself.
Okay.
All right. We got a lot of sandwiches and things in here.
Okay. Have a great day.
How'd you do the same?
So, in a way, even though, you know, they do give us quite a bit of pre-prepared, like, sandwiches and stuff, I think that's kind of good because a lot of seniors, you know, they don't take the time out to cook, right? Cooking, I know y'all be like, how come they can't cook? You know, it's easy to cook and this, that, and the third. Well, I don't know. Because I've even thought about putting a whole stool in the kitchen and a phone and said, look, here's your phone, here's a stool, sit here and cook. But that was just a thought. I didn't actually, well, I did it once and that was cool. But then after that, it was still like, you know, who wants to stand up or who wants to sit down in the kitchen or who wants, I don't know. But it's I guess it's all a part of, you know, having, you know, to accept the fact that, you know, you're getting old, right? And so when you're in the kitchen and you start feeling those little aches and pains and it bothers you, you know, it just bothers you. And rather than feel the aches and pains, you know, you just kind of like, you know, you want to avoid it altogether, right? Hold on. Okay. I got some things in the back, right, that I'm planning on taking over here to my daughter, right? I didn't like how she sounded the last time we talked. So, you know, sometimes, you know, let's just say, you know, people don't say, you know, what's going on because a lot of times, you know, they talk more shit, you know, than their ass can cover, okay? And that's okay, right? And they're willing to suffer in silence. And that's okay too, that's okay. That sounds like a personal problem to me, right? And that's all right. We all have problems. We all have personal problems. All right? So, anyway, I called her and she didn't answer the phone, so I assumed she's sleeping. Okay? Because if she was awake, she'd probably let me know, Mom, I'm at work. Right? She work all the time. So, that's my assumption. Now, I could be making an ass out of her and me, right? This girl, She lives about a whole hour away from me. Okay?
Go past this light. Then, at the next one, turn right onto I-635 Service Road, Lyndon B. Johnson Freeway.
Okay. And, you know, this is too much for me, right? Because my freezers are full, right?
At the
Matter of
light,
fact,
turn right onto I-635 Service Road, Lyndon
I'm
B.
having to
Johnson Freeway.
defrost, you
Then
know,
you'll
one
take
of
a
these
slight left
freezers
onto the ramp to I-635
because,
West.
you know, the girl,
Slight
you know, the
left
girl
onto the
had
ramp to
completely forgot
I-635
this
West.
other
Then
freezer,
merge onto I-635 West.
right? Because, you know, sometimes we do what we do, right? And that poor freezer's just been frozen in time, right? It needs to be defrosted, cleaned out, and then, you know, either utilized or I probably should let somebody else have it. But I'm going to use it. I already know I'm going to use it. Because that was my thought. My thought was, you know, whoa, Cherie, you know, if you had cleaned out that other freezer, you know, you could put all of these sandwiches and treats and stuff right here on the freezer. And then, you know, whenever you don't want to eat, whenever you don't want to cook, you know, you can just grab you one of these pre-made treats, right? Then there was like 4 Hello Meals, right? So I'm gonna give my daughter 2 of them. I'm gonna keep 3 of them for me. I think 2 of them, there was like 2 noodle ones, and then there was like 3 salmon ones. Right? And I gave my daughter like I think a noodle and a salmon. So, you know, the Hello Meals, they give you the ingredients for you to prepare these meals. I think they even supply a menu. Okay? But I'm telling you, this morning, when I woke up, the skies was clear, it was beautiful, and now it's all, you know, dark and gloomy. It's still very warm, 75 degrees. That's why I went ahead and took off that sweatshirt and put on a t-shirt. Even though that sweatshirt was making me feel all warm and cozy, and, you know, I'm telling you, I felt like snuggly. Thinking while I'm out there, I might just go on over there to one of those military stations where I can go and submit my application and my picture and stuff while I'm over that way. Because if I could do, I'm telling you, if I could do like one ride share, right, a week, on and off the base, okay, then that's worth my while, right? It hits my minimum, right? It hits my minimum. That's all I need. That's just all I need. Then I can focus back onto, you know, the projects that I have at home. Get them up and running, you know, because, you know, I can't believe that I bought all that cement, and between the humidity and the rain and everything, you know, they turned into cement blocks. And I'm like, all right, no problem. You know, I'll just, you know, use it for you know, a garden for the garden outside, you know, fire pit. So yeah, you know, and here's another thing. You know, my daughter said, you know, she's getting ready to work a job, and it's going to be a remote job, right? And I'm like, if you're working a remote job and it's hybrid and you only have to go out there, you know, who knows, once a week or whatever, you know, the money that you save by helping me out, by coming home, bringing your ass back to the house and helping me out, you know, will allow us the freedom that both of us want, right? She wants to be able to love her dogs, you know, have the certain freedom, you know. And I keep telling her, you know, I don't even go upstairs. The whole upstairs would be like hers, right? And I keep trying to, you know, paint this image in her head. Look, you know, you can make one room, you know, a living room, sort of, you know, area. You can have the other room for your bedroom, you know, and you have your own bathroom, no problem. You can have a microwave and a small refrigerator, and oh my God, you know, if you must have a sink, you can put a sink in there. Or if you're not doing the microwave, because I don't believe you should be using microwaves, you know, you just use your air fryer. Put your little air fryer up in there. You know, all we would need to do, I think, is just change the outlet. Instead of a 15 watt, you make it a 25 watt. So yeah, that's my thinking, right? I'm not gonna bother her, you know. She's grown. I don't even want to be mommy, right? Right? I've been mommy for 30-something years. Some people are like, what do you mean you've been mommy? Like 14 for the first child and 16 for the second child. That's 30 years. My children were 14 years apart. That's kind of how I envision it, right? But, you know, each time I come up with a solution that me and her could work out together, you know, she's haunted, you know, about, you know, my violent rages, you know, because here's the thing. As a parent, let me tell you something. As a parent, it is very, very difficult, you know, to be responsible without authority. Okay? It's very, very difficult. And usually when, you know, in these relationships, the woman is responsible, but she has no authority. Okay? So, I know you all are saying, what do you mean you don't have no authority? The authority comes through an acknowledgement, right? Cooperation, right? When, you know, it got to the point where, you know, you can't discipline your children, right? Your children are like, well, you know, they could always call, you know, CPS on you, right? They don't even understand how serious that is, you know, to have CPS involved in, you know, in your life. Okay? Because once CPS gets involved in your life, you know, you have to pay them to be involved in your life. I mean, because they have to be involved in your life. You have to pay them. So first of all, you're going to pay them with your time by going to court cost, attorney's fees, plus You're going to pay them for, whatever investigation and supervision, they're going to do afterwards, because that's generally what happens. They get a call, boom. It's not as easy, as people want to make it seem like, like it's, just like, you might be calling them for one situation, but it ends up being another situation, that they observe, that they consider, right? And so now you feel stupid because you're like, oh my gosh, I called you for this specific reason, and here you are, prioritizing some other situation that's really irrelevant, but they don't think it is. Okay? So, anyway, government center. Now, I've been seeing these buildings like that for a minute. All they're called is government building. I'm like, what the hell is that? They don't even specify what kind of building, what part of the government it is. Then, when they, like I said, when they made it to where women cannot, discipline their children and stuff like that, it became an emotional war. It became a manipulation, war between you and the child. Right? You have to sit up here and, command and enforce with nothing but spiritual and emotional power, or mental power too. Yeah, mental power too. You tried every method available, but you can't get caught putting your hands on that child. And if you put your hands on that child, it better be an open hand on the back of their buttocks. That's it. Right? So how old does a child have to be for you to actually, spank them with your hand on their buttocks, and for them to say, that don't even hurt? I was watching this one child dance, and this child, in several of his moves, would plop himself down right on his butt, right? And bounce around on his butt like he got springs on his butt. And I'm like, my goodness, you can't spank that child and it means anything. So the whole spanking with your hand has to also be accompanied with the disapproval, the emotional disapproval that should impact a loving child, right? And you are trying to express that, hey, this is just discipline. I love you, but you can't do this, you can't do that. Right? But it's hard. It's hard for that to be sufficient enough, because we have kids who think it's slick to stop what they know is wrong when they're in your face, but when you're gone, they go right back to doing it, right? The comedians made a big, joke about it, saying like, yeah, I'll shut up now, but when you gone, I'm gonna start right back. You see? And we all remember that joke. It was something that caught our attention, as a tool we could use when we're in, a situation where, somebody else has control. Which is one of the things that I will say about, other nations, right? Other nations and cultures and stuff like that, right? They have lived in a society where they had monarchies, where they had, official authorities, right? Right? And in America, they want to give you the idea. They want to give you the idea. It's an idea that you're free, right? Meaning that, well, you just don't have to, bow down, curtsy, kiss somebody's ring, kiss somebody's feet, kiss somebody's ass, all of that stuff. Well, wait a minute. We want to believe that, but they will make you kiss their ass. All right? To show some type of allegiance.
In 2 miles, take exit 27B for I-35E north toward Denton.
Okay? So that's why, during our era, we have a lot of people who are skilled, talented in emotional manipulation. It was nothing new, but before it wasn't necessarily needed because, people got punished, right? Instant punishment, right? People didn't wait until you got home and then punished you. No, they punished you right there on the spot. Okay? If a child was going to sit up there and throw a tantrum in a store, the parent, would say, oh, I'll give you something to cry about. And people would say, learn, little one, learn, right? But not
in half a mile, take exit 27B
as time went on.
I-35E north toward Denton.
As time went on, people were like, oh my God, that person, is so angry. Well, yes, I would be outraged if I had to spank my child in public. It's embarrassing. It's very embarrassing.
Take exit 27B.
And, you could think of it as, it's something that you just don't want to do. What is this? Hold on. Something happened.